I'd never gone to jail before, not even to visit. The experience was a great deal like what I would imagine food going through a garbage disposal feels like. It starts out fast, you get bumped around a lot, and you end up in a place you'd rather not touch. Only food can't panic, and I'm afraid to say I did more than my share of that. Resnick and his buddy spent most of their drive telling me to shut up, and I spent most of mine not hearing them. It was nice of Resnick to finally uncuff me when we got out of his car, but then I found myself passed from one person to another. With each one, just as I began to get my bearings and ask if I could talk to a lawyer, I was passed right along to someone else. Someone took my picture, someone took my phone, someone took my wallet and keys, but nobody took my statement. All they took was my name and address, over and over, along with my social security number, my fingerprints, and my faith in the kindness of humanity. Finally, someone handed me a piece of paper and said, "This paper holds your phone call ID number. Without this number, you will not be allowed to make a phone call come 8 a.m. Do you understand what I've just told you?" For the most part, I thought I understood, but I did want to know, so does this mean that Before I could finish, however, I was dragged along to another station. Here, a young man who was clearly not a cop asked me about my medical history. Was I on any medication? Would I need any medication? It seemed like plenty of people in there were less than healthy. Then they took my urine, and to my complete surprise, my shoes. Finally, I was led into a large cell where about half a dozen other men sat on metal benches built into the walls. And voila! A lifetime of law-abiding went right down the toilet. I realized with a weird smirk that was probably misinterpreted by all the wrong people that I was still wearing the same clothes I'd worn to Las Vegas. And these were clothes I had changed into because I had spent the previous night in a dumpster. Déjà vu. I had no idea where Joseph was, and had no way of knowing if my actions had protected him or not. I'd probably lose my job as a result. And for what? Because some lady who bought me pancakes asked me to? Had I lost my mind? I stood there by the door for a while until I heard someone say, "Might as well sit down. It's gonna be a long night." I looked at the others in the cell, but had no idea who had spoken. Better to listen anyway, I figured, and found an empty section of bench. And I waited. I'd lost track of time, and there were no clocks on the walls, not even a window to look outside. All I could do was sit there and wait. I was tempted to sleep, but come on. Could you sleep in a jail cell full of criminals? Neither could I.
"What the hell are you doing here?"
The question came from just to my right, and looking over, I saw a young black man the size of a house staring down at me. Great, I thought. Now I'm going to be raped. He moved closer. His t-shirt stretched across his muscle-bound chest like it was ready to burst, and his jeans were reminiscent of the Incredible Hulk. All I could figure was that the police had told him to dress threatening before they took him in. The only saving grace preventing me from running away in a full panic were those silly little slippers they gave each of us when they took our shoes. On him, they gave the appearance of a mutant Tinkerbell. On me, they made running practically impossible without slipping and falling on my face. And I really didn't want to fall on my face. He pulled himself along the bench until he was about a foot away from me and grumbled,
"I said, what the hell you doing here?"
None of my charges made any sense, but I rattled them off anyway. Vandalism, graffiti, trespassing, loitering, contributing to the delinquency of a minor, and something called a 594.
What's that?
He asked. I don't know, I answered, failing to look as though he wasn't threatening. Wanton destruction of property or something like that.
Is that it?
No, I told him, thankful there was more. But I don't remember it all. It was mostly in code. He laughed.
Yeah, it usually is. Name's Terry.
He put his hand out as he introduced himself, and I swear it was bigger than the turkey my mom had served last Thanksgiving. I would have shaken it right away, but... Terry? My confusion must have betrayed me, because I guess he saw the look on my face.
My wife really got on my ass about not using my real name, and considering the amount of trouble I'm in, I don't dare call myself anything else.
For a second, he was almost human. Then he snarled.
Are you going to shake my hand or what?
I took it. Terry's handshake was like wrapping my hand in a steak, only the steak tenderizes you.